I didn't know humiliation had a taste until that night. Champagne and copper, fizzing on my tongue like expensive cruelty. The lobby of the Grandeur Hotel swallows me whole, all marble and gold leaf in the kind of silence that costs more than my car. I'm clutching a gift bag, homemade cookies, wrapped in tissue paper I chose because it had little stars on it, and I can feel how pathetically ordinary it is against the backdrop of this shimmering, untouchable world. My dress is nice. I told myself it was nice. Navy blue, knee-length. The one I wore to my sister's wedding 3 years ago. But here, surrounded by women who look like they stepped out of fashion magazines, nice feels like a slur. I'm looking for Daniel. My husband. The man I've loved since college, when he wore hoodies and quoted philosophy and made me feel like the only woman in the world. That Daniel feels like a ghost tonight. The Daniel who works here, who thrives here, is someone I'm not sure I know anymore. Can I help you? A hostess appears, all sleek hair and practiced smile. Her eyes flick to my gift bag, then away, like it's too sad to acknowledge. I'm here for the Meridian Corp party. My husband works here, Daniel Ashford? Something shifts in her expression. Recognition, maybe pity. Of course. Top floor? The elevators are just through there. The ride up feels endless. 63 floors, and with each one, my heart climbs higher into my throat. I shouldn't be nervous. This is my husband's world. I belong here because he belongs here. But the woman in the elevator mirror, hair in a simple twist, minimal makeup, sensible heels. She looks like she's attending a parent-teacher conference, not a corporate gala. The doors open to music and laughter and light so bright it feels like walking into the sun, and there he is. Daniel. He's across the room, head thrown back in laughter, surrounded by a constellation of people who orbit him like he's the source of all gravity. He's wearing a suit I've never seen, charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, making him look like a stranger wearing my husband's face. His hand rests casually on the back of a chair. A woman's chair, she's stunning. They all are. The 3 women clustered around him like gorgeous predatory birds. One is a redhead in emerald silk that probably costs more than our mortgage payment. Another is blonde, her dress so white and pristine it seems to glow. The third is dark-haired, Mediterranean maybe, poured into black velvet like it's liquid night. I start walking toward them. Each step feels like wading through water. The dark-haired woman sees me first. Her eyes sweep over me, inventory, assessment, dismissal, all in 2 seconds. Daniel, she purrs, touching his arm. I think someone's looking for you. He turns. Our eyes meet. For one heartbeat, I see something flicker across his face. Surprise, discomfort, but then it's gone, replaced by a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Sweetheart. He crosses to me, kisses my cheek. His cologne is different. When did he change his cologne? I didn't know you were coming. You invited me. My voice sounds small. 2 weeks ago. You said it was important. Of course, yes, He glances back at the women watching us with expressions I can't quite read. Come meet everyone. He guides me over with a hand on my lower back, and I can feel the tension in his fingers. Ladies, this is my wife. Sweetheart, this is Vivian. The redhead extends a hand with nails like crimson knives. Clarissa. The blonde smile is all teeth. And Sophia. The dark-haired woman barely nods. I brought something. I hold up my gift bag like a shield. For the host. Daniel mentioned Mr. Chen has a sweet tooth, so I made my grandmother's recipe. Chocolate chip with sea salt and... how quaint. Vivian's voice drips honey and venom in equal measure. Homemade cookies. To a corporate party. The silence that follows is a physical thing, pressing against my chest. Clarissa laughs. Light, musical, devastating. That's actually adorable. Like bringing wine in a box to a Michelin restaurant. Daniel's hand tightens on my back. The thought is lovely. The thought is lovely, Sophia interrupts. Her dark eyes fixed on me with something like fascination. But perhaps it's time we address the elephant in the room. She steps closer, and I catch her perfume, expensive French. The kind that comes in bottles the size of my thumb. Daniel, darling, does your wife know about the promotion yet? The world tilts sideways. What promotion? The air between us crystallizes into something sharp enough to cut. Daniel's face does this thing. This microsecond of calculation that I've never seen before, like he's running odds, weighing outcomes. The man I married used to be transparent as water. This man has depths I can't fathom. I was going to tell you tonight, he says, but his voice has that careful quality, the one people use when they're constructing truth from convenient pieces. It just happened this afternoon. Vice President of Strategic Acquisitions. The title means nothing to me, but the way Vivian's red lips curve into a smile means everything. Congratulations, I manage. The word tastes like ash. That's wonderful, Daniel. It comes with a few changes. He's still not quite meeting my eyes. Longer hours, some travel. And we'd need to relocate to Manhattan, Clarissa interjects, smooth as silk over steel. The penthouse lifestyle. You must be thrilled. She looks at me like she's trying to imagine me in a penthouse and failing spectacularly. I'm still holding the gift bag. The tissue paper with its cheerful little stars suddenly feels obscene, like showing up to a funeral in a clown costume. When were you going to discuss this with me? The question comes out quieter than I intended. The relocating part? There's a lot to discuss. Daniel's hand falls away from my back. The absence feels like falling. But tonight's not really the time because your wife wasn't supposed to be here. Sophia's voice cuts like a scalpel. She's enjoying this, I realize. They all are in their different ways, watching me squirm, watching Daniel scramble, feeding on our discomfort like it's premium entertainment. I invited her, Daniel says, but there's an edge to it now. Frustration bleeding through his corporate polish. I just thought, you thought she'd blend in? Vivian laughs, cruel and crystalline. Oh, Daniel. Sweet, ambitious Daniel. You can't have both worlds. You can't be the man who eats at Le Bernardin and goes home to... Her eyes rake over me again. Homemade cookies. Something hot and jagged lodges in my throat. Pride maybe, or rage. I can't tell anymore, excuse me. I turn before the tears can come, before they can see me break. I need to powder room, or whatever people call it here. I'm halfway across the room when I hear Clarissa's voice, not quite whispered enough. Give it 6 months. He'll trade up. They always do. The bathroom is all white marble and gold fixtures and mirrors that show me exactly what I'm afraid to see. A woman who doesn't belong. I set the gift bag on the counter, and one of the cookies is broken, crumbs scattered across the tissue paper like evidence of some small private disaster. I should leave. Walk out of this hotel, this nightmare. Drive home to our modest house in the suburbs with its mortgage we split 50-50, and its garden I planted myself. I should. The door opens. Sophia. She moves like smoke, silent and sinuous, and suddenly she's beside me, close enough that I can see the gold flecks in her dark eyes. You're tougher than you look, she says. It's not a compliment. It's an observation, clinical and curious. Most women would have cried by now. Maybe I'm not most women. No. She reaches out and I flinch, but she's only straightening my collar, her fingers cool against my throat. You're exactly most women. That's the problem. Daniel's not most men anymore. He's exceptional. And exceptional men need exceptional partners. What do you want? My voice shakes. Why are you telling me this? Because I like you. She smiles and it's almost genuine. You're real. You're the kind of person who makes cookies and means it. But this world, she gestures vaguely toward the door, toward the party beyond. It eats people like you alive. And Daniel? She leans in, her breath warm against my ear. Daniel's already decided what he wants. He just hasn't found the courage to tell you yet. You're lying. Am I? She pulls back, studying my face like it's a painting she's considering purchasing. Then why didn't he tell you about the promotion? Why didn't he mention that the company tradition is to bring your spouse to these events? Unless you're planning to change spouses. The floor beneath me feels suddenly unsteady. Daniel and I are solid. We've been together for 8 years. You're a chapter he's already read. Her voice is almost gentle now, which makes it worse. And men like Daniel, they're always hungry for the next story. She leaves me there, alone with my reflection and my broken cookies and the terrible, creeping certainty that she might be right. When I finally force myself back to the party, Daniel's not where I left him. I scan the room, all these beautiful, powerful people with their champagne flutes and their easy laughter, and spot him near the windows. Alone for once. I approach slowly and he doesn't notice me until I'm right beside him. We should talk, I say. He looks at me, and something in his expression makes my heart stop. Yes, he says quietly, we should. But before either of us can say another word, a man's voice booms across the room. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention. Mr. Chen stands at the center of the room like a king surveying his kingdom, and the crowd falls silent with the kind of instant obedience that only real power commands. He's smaller than I imagined, but there's something about him, the way he holds space, the way people lean toward him like flowers toward sun, that makes him enormous. His suit probably costs more than I make in a year. Maybe 2. Thank you all for coming tonight, he begins, his accent slight but unmistakable. We're here to celebrate not just another successful quarter, but the people who make this company what it is. The innovators, the risk-takers, the ones who see the future before it arrives. Beside me, Daniel straightens, and I can feel the anticipation rolling off him in waves. Daniel Ashford. Mr. Chen's eyes find us across the room. Would you join me, please? The crowd parts. Daniel moves forward, and I'm left standing alone, clutching my ridiculous gift bag, watching my husband ascend into a spotlight that has no room for me. Daniel has been with Meridian for 5 years, Mr. Chen continues, his hand on Daniel's shoulder like a blessing. In that time, he's transformed our acquisition strategy, brought in over $200 million in new assets, and proven himself to be exactly the kind of leader this company needs as we expand into new markets. He pauses, letting the weight of his words settle, which is why I'm pleased to announce his promotion to Vice President of Strategic Acquisitions, effective immediately. The applause is thunderous. I clap too, automatic, my hands moving while my mind reels. This position requires dedication, Mr. Chen says, his voice cutting through the noise. It requires sacrifice. It requires someone willing to put the company first, always. His eyes drift toward me just for a second, but it's enough. The message is clear. I don't belong here. I never did. Daniel, say a few words. My husband takes the microphone, and I barely recognize him. This confident, polished man with his easy smile and his practiced gestures. Who is he? When did he learn to perform like this? Thank you, Mr. Chen. This opportunity means everything to me. His voice carries across the room like honey. I've worked hard to get here, and I'm honored by your faith in me. I promise to give this role everything I have. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. The words echo in my chest like a death knell. He keeps talking, something about vision and excellence in the future. But I'm not listening anymore. I'm watching the way Vivian looks at him, the way Clarissa touches his arm when he finally steps down, the way Sophia whispers something that makes him laugh. I'm watching my husband disappear into a world where I'm not invited. The party swirls on. I find myself near the windows, staring out at the city lights, feeling like a ghost haunting my own life. Beautiful view, isn't it? I turn. Mr. Chen stands beside me, holding 2 glasses of champagne. He offers me one. Thank you. I take it, though I don't drink. You're Daniel's wife. I am. And you brought cookies. He smiles, and there's something knowing in it. Something that makes my stomach twist. I heard about that. It's sweet. Old-fashioned. I wanted to make a good impression. You did. He takes a sip of champagne. You impressed me by showing me exactly who Daniel used to be. Who he's leaving behind. The words hit like a slap. I don't understand. Of course you do. His voice is kind, which makes it crueler. You're a smart woman. Smart enough to know when you're being outgrown. Smart enough to know that love isn't always enough. That's not... I've seen it 100 times, he continues, gentle and relentless. A man rises. His partner doesn't rise with him. And eventually, the distance becomes unbridgeable. He looks at me, really looks at me, and I feel pinned beneath his gaze. Daniel's going places. The question is, can you go there with him? Or will you be the anchor that drags him down? I should argue. Defend myself, defend us. But the words won't come. Think about it, Mr. Chen says, and then he's gone, melting back into the crowd, leaving me alone with the truth I've been avoiding all night. I find Daniel near the bar. He's laughing with a group of executives, his tie loosened, his face flushed with success and champagne. When he sees me, the laughter dies. Can we go? I ask quietly. Please? Something flickers across his face, irritation, guilt, I can't tell, but he nods. We don't speak in the elevator. The silence is a living thing between us, growing teeth. It's not until we're in the car, pulling out of the parking garage, that he finally says, "You're upset." I'm confused. My hands twist in my lap. When were you going to tell me about New York? About the fact that you're apparently ready to uproot our entire life without discussing it with me first? It's a good opportunity. That's not an answer, Daniel. He grips the steering wheel tighter. What do you want me to say? That I should turn it down? Throw away everything I've worked for because you're uncomfortable? I want you to say that I matter. The words burst out of me raw and jagged. I want you to say that our marriage is more important than a promotion. I want you to look at me the way you used to, before you started looking at me like I'm something embarrassing you need to hide. He pulls over. We're on some side street, shadows and streetlights and the hum of distant traffic. When he finally turns to me, his eyes are wet. I love you. He whispers. God, I still love you. But I don't know if love is enough anymore. I don't know if we're enough. The world stops. What are you saying? I'm saying, his voice breaks. I'm saying I don't know who I am anymore. And I don't know if the man I'm becoming has room for the life we built. I can't breathe, can't think, can only stare at this stranger wearing my husband's face. Take me home, I say. He does. And when we pull into our driveway, I get out without a word and walk into our house, our modest, ordinary, real house, and I finally let myself cry. But even as the tears come, something else stirs beneath them, not heartbreak, rage. I don't sleep. Instead, I lie in our bed, alone because Daniel passed out on the couch after finishing half a bottle of scotch. And I think, really think, maybe for the first time in years, about the woman I used to be. Before Daniel, before the wedding, before I started shrinking myself to fit into the spaces he left for me. I had dreams once, a career. I was going to be a photographer, traveling the world, capturing moments that mattered. But then Daniel got his first promotion and we needed stability, he said. Security. So I took the administrative job at the dentist's office. Good benefits. Flexible hours for when we had kids. We never had kids. And somewhere along the way I stopped being the woman who chased dreams and became the woman who made cookies. Dawn breaks gray and cold. I shower, dress, and sit at our kitchen table with my laptop and a cup of coffee that tastes like determination. I start digging. Meridian Corporation. Daniel's golden ticket. It takes me an hour to find what I'm looking for, buried in public filings and financial disclosures that most people would never bother to read. But I'm not most people. Not anymore. 3 years ago, before Daniel even interviewed at Meridian, I worked briefly for a boutique investment firm. I learned how to read these documents, how to spot the patterns, the inconsistencies. And there, in the dense language of corporate finance, I find it. Meridian isn't expanding. Meridian is hemorrhaging. They've been hiding losses through aggressive acquisition accounting, shuffling debt between subsidiaries, creating an illusion of growth while the foundation crumbles. Daniel's successful acquisitions? Most of them are toxic assets disguised with creative bookkeeping. The company is maybe 18 months from collapse and Mr. Chen knows it. He has to, which means Daniel's promotion isn't a reward, it's a setup. A scapegoat in a tailored suit. I sit back, my heart pounding, and I realize I have power here. Information that could save Daniel from walking into a disaster. Information that could change everything. But do I want to save him? The man who looked at me last night like I was an obstacle. The man who's already deciding how to shed his old life like a snake shedding skin. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. This is Sophia. We should talk. Alone. Today. I'll send you an address. I stare at the message for a long moment. Then I type back, okay. The address she sends is for a cafe in the city. Small, discreet, the kind of place where people go to have conversations they don't want overheard. She's already there when I arrive, sitting in a corner booth, dressed in cream cashmere and understated gold. She looks like money. Old money. The kind that whispers instead of shouts. You came, she says, almost surprised. You asked. She gestures to the seat across from her. I sit for a long moment, we just look at each other. Then she says, I lied to you last night. About what? About Daniel. About him having already decided. She leans forward and her eyes are fierce, focused. He hasn't decided anything. He's terrified. Of failing. Of losing what he's built. Of proving everyone who ever doubted him right. She pauses. And of losing you. Funny way of showing it. Men like Daniel. Ambitious, driven, desperate to prove themselves, they're terrible at showing what they really feel. They perform instead, play the role they think they need to play. Her fingers tap against her coffee cup. But you want to know what I really think? I'm here, aren't I? I think you're the best thing that ever happened to him. I think he knows it. And I think he's sabotaging himself because he doesn't believe he deserves both, the success and you. Why are you telling me this? She sits back studying me, because I know what it's like to be underestimated, to be dismissed as decorative, to have men look at you and see a trophy instead of a threat. Her smile is sharp. And last night, watching those vipers circle you, I saw something in you that reminded me of myself. You're stronger than you know, and smarter. What do you want, Sophia? I want to help you. She slides a business card across the table. I own a media company. We specialize in investigative journalism, exposing corporate corruption, and I've been watching Meridian for months. I know they're dirty. I just need someone on the inside to confirm what I suspect. My pulse quickens. You want me to what?
Spy on my husband's company?
I want you to save him from making the biggest mistake of his life. Her voice drops low, urgent. Daniel's walking into a trap. That promotion? It's designed to make him the fall guy when everything collapses. Mr. Chen is looking for someone to blame, and your husband just volunteered. How do you know this? Because I've seen it before. And because... She hesitates, and for the first time I see something vulnerable in her expression. My brother worked for Meridian 3 years ago. He was set up the same way. Promoted, praised, and then destroyed when the house of cards fell. He lost everything. His career. His marriage. He tried to tell people what was happening, but no one listened. No one believed him. Sophia, he killed himself 2 years ago. The words hang in the air like smoke. I'm sorry, I whisper. Don't be sorry. Help me. She reaches across the table, her hand covering mine. Help me burn them down. Help me save Daniel before it's too late. And in the process, her grip tightens. Show him exactly who he's been underestimating. I look at her hand on mine. At the card with its embossed lettering. At the choice sitting in front of me like a loaded gun. I could walk away, go home. Try to fix my marriage the normal way, with therapy and conversations and compromise. Or I could do this. Become the woman who doesn't just make cookies, who doesn't just smile and shrink and accommodate. I pick up the card. What do you need me to do? Her smile is radiant and dangerous. Everything. 3 months later, I walk into the Meridian Corporation holiday gala wearing a dress that cost more than my car used to. Red silk, vintage Dior, fitted like a second skin. Sophia helped me choose it. Sophia helped me with a lot of things. The past 12 weeks have been a masterclass in transformation. Not just my appearance, though I've learned the language of designer labels and strategic highlights, but something deeper. Something that shows in the way I hold my shoulders now. The way I meet people's eyes and don't look away first. I've been working with Sophia's team, feeding them information, building a case, and tonight, it all comes together. Daniel's beside me as we enter, and I feel him tense. He's been distant since that night, sleeping in the guest room, leaving early, coming home late. We've been living like polite strangers, circling each other in our own house. But tonight, I need him close. You look different, he murmurs as we check our coats. I am different. Something flickers in his eyes. Confusion, maybe appreciation, maybe fear. The ballroom is exactly as ostentatious as I remember, but this time when the crowd sees me, their reactions are different. Heads turn. Conversations pause. Vivian, resplendent in gold, actually does a double take. Well, Clarissa says as we approach, her smile frozen in place. Someone's had a makeover. Someone's had a revelation, I correct, my voice smooth as silk. Mr. Chen appears, as always, at the perfect moment. Daniel and Mrs. Ashford, how lovely to see you both. Actually, I say, extending my hand, it's Ms. Morgan now. I've gone back to my maiden name. Professionally, at least. Daniel's head whips toward me. What? Didn't I mention? I smile, sweet and sharp. I've started a new job. Consultant for SJ Media. We're doing a special investigation piece on corporate accountability in the financial sector. Fascinating work. The color drains from Mr. Chen's face. SJ Media, that's Sophia Jackson's company, yes. I turn as Sophia herself glides up, magnificent in midnight blue. Thank you again for the opportunity, Sophia. It's been enlightening. The pleasure is mine, Sophia says, her eyes gleaming. I do love a good expose. Mr. Chen recovers quickly, his smile snapping back into place like a mask. I'm sure whatever you're working on will be thoroughly professional. Oh, absolutely. I accept a champagne flute from a passing server. In fact, we're releasing the first article tonight. It should be going live right about. I check my watch. Now. I see the moment it happens. The phones start buzzing. All around the room, executives and board members pulling out their devices, their faces shifting from curiosity to confusion to horror. Daniel grabs my arm. What did you do? I saved you. I turn to face him and I let him see everything. The anger, the hurt, the love that's still there underneath it all. Meridian is built on fraud, Daniel. Aggressive accounting, hidden losses, toxic acquisitions disguised as assets. They were setting you up to take the fall when everything collapsed. Your promotion wasn't a reward. It was a sacrifice. That's not... But he's pulling out his own phone now, reading, his face going pale. It's all true, Sophia says quietly. Every word. Financial statements don't lie, even when the men who file them do. Mr. Chen's mask finally cracks. You have no idea what you've done. The lawsuits, the investigations. Oh, I have a very clear idea, I interrupt. You'll probably face fraud charges. The board will be gutted. And the employees who had nothing to do with your schemes will hopefully land on their feet once the truth is out. I take a sip of champagne. But Daniel will be fine. Because I made sure the evidence shows he had no knowledge of the fraud, that he was a victim, not a perpetrator. Daniel stares at me like he's seeing me for the first time. You did this? All of this? I did. I set down my glass. Because despite everything, despite you looking at me like I was something embarrassing, despite you deciding our love wasn't enough, I couldn't let you destroy yourself for a company that was using you. His eyes are wet. I'm so sorry. God, I'm so sorry. The things I said, the way I treated you, were unforgivable, I finish. And we both know our marriage died that night in the car. We've just been too afraid to admit it. No. He reaches for me, but I step back. No, we can fix this. I'll quit. We'll move anywhere you want. Daniel. I say his name gently, sadly. You were right that night. Love isn't always enough. But it's not because I wasn't enough. It's because you stopped choosing me. You stopped choosing us? I'll choose better. I swear I don't want you to choose me out of guilt. I blink back tears. I want you to become the man who would never have to choose. Who would have come to me the moment you got that promotion offer? Who would have said, let's figure this out together instead of making decisions alone? Around us, the party has dissolved into chaos. Executives on phones, Mr. Chen being cornered by board members, security heading his direction. Sophia touches my arm. We should go. The press will be here soon, I nod. Then I look at Daniel one last time. Really look at him, memorizing this moment. The end of something. The beginning of something else. I loved you, I say. The you that you were. And maybe someday you'll find your way back to being that person. But I can't wait around to find out. I've spent too long making myself smaller so you could feel bigger. I'm done shrinking. I turn to leave and his voice stops me. What will you do now? I glance back over my shoulder and I smile. Real, genuine, free. Everything. Outside the night air is cold and sharp and clean. Sophia walks beside me, her hand linked through my arm. That was brutal, she says. That was necessary. You know he's going to try to win you back. I know. And I think about it. About the girl who made cookies and wore comfortable shoes and believed that love meant sacrifice. About the woman I've become, fierce and smart and unafraid to take up space. And maybe someday, if he does the work, if he becomes the man I always believed he could be, we'll have coffee, talk, see what's left beneath all the wreckage. But not today. Not today. I breathe in deep, feeling my lungs expand, my heart steady and strong. Today I'm going to go home. Pack up everything that's mine. Find an apartment with a view. And tomorrow, I squeeze her arm. I'm going to start actually living. For the first time in years, I'm going to live for me. Good. Sophia hails a cab. Because the world needs more women who know their worth. As the taxi pulls away, I look back one last time at the hotel. All that glittering, cruel beauty. And I feel nothing but relief. I brought a gift to my husband's party once. Homemade cookies wrapped in stars. Tonight I brought the truth. And I'm leaving with something far more valuable than anything I walked in with. My power, my voice, myself, and it turns out that's all I ever really needed.